Hi everyone, this is Connor at Metropolitan Baseball Academy. Today we're going to go over some pitch grips, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start out with fastballs, okay? There's three kinds that we're going to talk about. The first one is a four-seam. A four-seam fastball is the straightest and the fastest, therefore it's the default, I would say, okay? So what you do is you find the C on the ball, put your fingers on the C. Very simple. Again, this one's going to go straight for the most part, so this is the one that players should learn first. The next fastball we'll talk about is a two-seam fastball, okay? Some players like to hold it on the train tracks. Some players like to hold it across the train tracks. Either way, it doesn't matter, okay? You're gonna get the same kind of spin. It's just about preference, all right? Some players hold it offset. Some players hold it between the train tracks. Some on top, some on the outside. Again, it's all about preference and what feels good for you. The next one that we'll talk about is a cutter, okay? The easiest way to throw a cutter or to try and throw a cutter would be I think it's the Mariano Rivera one, okay, where we just move our fingers over to the side, and now we're on the side of the ball, all right? And what we're looking for here is some side spin so that the ball will cut when it's on the way to the plate. So now we'll move on to some other secondary pitches, okay? The first one will be a changeup. Now what I say for a changeup in all secondary pitches is that it's very dependent on how you feel, okay? So if you feel more comfortable having it loose in your fingers, then do that. If you have it more comfortable deeper in your fingers, then do that, okay? I personally like to have it deeper in my fingers, and I like to have all of my fingers touching the ball to slow it down, all right? Now, depending upon which fastball you throw more often, four-seam or a two-seam, should determine whether or not you throw a two-seam or a four-seam changeup. We want to keep them the same so that they look the same to the hitter. All right, so if I throw a four-seam fastball, I should throw a four-seam changeup. Now, moving on to some breaking balls, curveballs and sliders. A lot of times the grips are the same, just about how we throw them, okay? So for a curveball, I like to find the long seam, put my middle finger on the long seam, put my thumb on the seam that's diagonal or right across from it, all right? And I like to put my index finger right on top. Okay? Some players have it here, some players have it like this, like a knuckle curve. Again, it's very dependent upon what you feel comfortable with. For a slider, you can throw it the same way, but I like to go across the train tracks onto this longer seam over here, okay? And with that one, I like to put both of my fingers on there. Again, that's just what works for me, but some players I've seen, they put their finger on top. Don't really see too many knuckle sliders, okay? But again, just mess around and see what works best for you. The last grip that we'll talk about is a knuckleball, okay? This is a fun one to throw. The point is to not let the ball spin, all right? And usually what it does is it dances back and forth. I like to throw it with my fingertips, okay? Some players like to throw it with just two fingertips, all right? Again, this one's all about what you feel comfortable with. Send us some videos of your knuckleballs or any of the other pitches and let's see who throws the best.